Welcome back to UFO Phenomenon Podcast, the show where we explore the biggest mysteries in the skies and the stories that continue to challenge what we think we know.
We're your hosts, Cheryl and Aaron, and tonight we're covering one of the most talked about UFO events of the year.
On Tuesday, former intelligence officer and whistleblower David Grusch stood outside the United States Capitol alongside members of Congress and prominent UFO researchers to demand greater transparency about unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs. We call them UFOs.
That's right. But this wasn't just another press conference.
Grusch made new allegations about secret government spending, hidden records, and even encouraged the public to examine a specific declassified document that he believes is extremely important.
So tonight we'll break down what happened at the Capitol, who was standing there with Grusch, what new claims he made, the declassified Australian document he pointed the people towards, and whether this event actually moved the UFO conversation forward.
So dim the lights, get comfortable, and let's dive in. The Capitol Press Conference. The event took place outside the U.S. Capitol and featured David Grusch alongside Representatives Tim Burchett, Anna Paulina Luna, Eric Burleson, and Jared Moskowitz, with journalist Leslie Kean and filmmaker James Fox also involved in the event.
The message was very straightforward. According to the speakers, Congress and the American public are still being denied access to records concerning UAP investigations and alleged non-human intelligence.
Grusch argued that agencies are continuing to block oversight, that our important records should be reviewed and declassified.
One of his strongest statements involved what he described as hidden government spending connected to highly classified programs.
He claimed that during his investigations, he discovered what he called slush funds worth billions of dollars outside normal congressional oversight.
So let's take a listen to what he had to say on that.
Good afternoon. I'm here today because my leadership on the disclosure issue is part of my continued service to the nation. I took an oath as an Air Force officer swearing allegiance to the principles and the framework of the U.S. Constitution. I took that oath seriously then, and I take that oath seriously now. And if this is one of my final duties of public service, I want it to be this: helping Congress and the President restore lawful accountability over activities and spending that should have never been placed beyond constitutional oversights, and to be transparent with the American people. There are a myriad of issues across multiple cultural, religious, and institutional spectrums. The topics here that we're discussing today go beyond life in the universe. There are serious homeland security and airspace safety issues. There are relevant counterintelligence and technology protection issues that must be taken into consideration. For decades, unknown objects have freely operated in restricted airspace in large metropolitan areas and critical infrastructure, and the agencies responsible for securing the homeland cannot adequately defend against it. This is a serious national security issue. In my official duties, I was exposed to human and signals intelligence information concerning foreign adversary, UAP crash retrieval, exploitation and study efforts, adversary views on U.S. legacy program reverse engineering efforts, and U.S.-held audiovisual information related to crash retrieval matters, such as the recovered vehicles and the associated biological material. One must always be concerned about adversarial disinformation when you're getting foreign intelligence, but I was able to cross-verify this information internally to back up the foreign government assertions. Many of the president's team has been kept in the dark by high-ego, politically appointed actors, both because of incompetence and malicious intent, has subverted the president's order on this issue. Furthermore, some of this foreign intelligence has not been provided to Congress despite lawful requests to the Defense Intelligence Agency last summer, and also having formally been published across the IC and analyzed by such analytical centers such as NASIC. These records belong under congressional oversight, and I believe DIA should stop obstructing Chairwoman Luna's task force and provide those documents to Congress and enter it through mandatory declassification review so the American public can see some of the foreign intelligence I had access to. Secrecy around this issue did not appear overnight. Subsequent executive orders, Secretary of Defense memorandums, departmented security, basically nullified Congress's role with the judicial branch with oversight of this issue. Remember, classification exists to protect the nation. Executive Order 13526 discusses what can and cannot be classified. Embarrassment, hiding funds, criminal activity, and the basic information about scientific information in the universe is unlawful for it to be classified. And this is why whistleblower protections matter. Through my federal litigation ongoing with the Department of War, I learned that the Air Force worked with an external agency to seek an investigation of me for alleged unauthorized disclosures punishable under the Espionage Act after I testified in front of Congress in 2023, discussing the results of my congressionally directed investigation in the support of the first Trump administration. This should concern every member of Congress, regardless of party. To this day, I'm still fighting years of record withholding, administrative obstruction, and a prolonged effort to get a medical military retirement that I still am not in a retired status. This is also a real fraud, waste, and abuse issue. President Vance's task force is sharply focused on the issue of misuse of funds. The same accountability problem applies here. And during my investigation, I found slush funds to the tune of billions of dollars per annum for these activities. We cannot have one standard for the American people and another standard for the deep state that hide behind the veil of secrecy. President Trump has the authority to create an enduring legacy of government transparency, accountability consistent with national security protections. Disclosure should not depend on leaks. It should not depend on the public taking my word for it or anyone else's. American people deserve more than vague denials and selective releases of prior administrations, to include through troubled organizations such as ARROW. I applaud the president's efforts and his promise to show true American leadership on this issue of massive worldwide interest, over 1 billion views on the File Drop website. So the time has come to stop asking the public to trust secret conclusions. Instead, provide an honest accounting of what it knows, what it's done, and what has been withheld. God bless America.
Now, it's important to note something here. These allegations have not been publicly proven, and the Department of Defense has consistently maintained that it has found no verified evidence supporting claims of secret alien crash retrieval program.
Oh, I bet.
Of course they don't know anything about it. Never do.
No. For many listeners, the tension between extraordinary claims and the lack of publicly available evidence is exactly what keeps the story alive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very interesting press conference. I was so pleased to see James Fox there. Of course, the representatives usually said what they usually say. Lots of dadgummits. And
this is a cover-up. You all know it. We know it. We demand the answers, and dadgummit, we're going to get them.
Yep.
But it was nice to hear that both parties are working together. You know, it's Republicans, Democrats, you know, that they're all really, I think behind the scenes, they're all friends and working together.
Well, you got to keep that public persona alive of left versus right. But that isn't really the case with the UFO stuff.
And I feel what Leslie Kean said, that why would the knowledge of extraterrestrial life be classified?
Kirk McConnell, who is standing here today in the back, he was present in classified settings when highly credible sources briefed senators, including Marco Rubio, about recovered non-human bodies. Unlike legitimate national security concerns that require us to keep advanced technologies of non-human origin secret, that justification should not apply to biological evidence. Knowledge of the existence of another life form, studied and documented by qualified experts, should not be considered a threat to national security. By what authority can any institution withhold confirmation of what may be the most consequential scientific discovery in human history? Knowledge that we are not alone does not belong to any government or military. It belongs to all of humanity. Today, I call upon the President to prioritize the declassification and public release of any evidence concerning recovered, advanced, non-human biological entities.
That doesn't let go of any national security.
Right.
It doesn't pose any threat to that. Life shouldn't be declassified. We should know if we're, the universe is teeming with life, or if we're the only ones, which I absolutely do not believe we're the only ones. Like, why would the universe be so big for us to all just be alone here?
Yeah, and what difference does it make if we know aliens exist? How does that affect our security?
Yeah,
It doesn't.
if you need to keep the tech secret, for national defense reasons, that's, fine with
Right.
me. I don't need to know how to build it or anything. I wouldn't know how to build it even if you told me. So I think that we need that question answered, and it is past time
Long
for it to
past
be answered. So hopefully this leads to somewhere. I mean, this still having him and them up there saying all this was historic.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So many UFO researchers were asking the same questions after this event. Was this a major breakthrough or simply a repeat of what Grusch testified in 2023?
Now, he actually claimed the existence of aliens. In that many words, he came out and said aliens are real.
Yeah.
He gave examples of the plasmoid.
He
What did he call
said
them?
corporeal bipedals and sentient plasmoid life.
And everything in between.
I think the plasmoid life are these orbs, but he said there were several different kinds of life in the universe.
And that is not what he said in the hearings. He tiptoed around it and danced around
did.
it. But this time he came right out and said, yes, aliens exist.
Yeah, on the hearing, he would only say NHI, non-human intelligence.
Or I can't talk about that.
Yeah, it would have to be in a classified skiff. Let's take a listen to the questions that the reporters asked him and his answers.
How many species? Recent reports have said that there are perhaps 4 different alien species, Greys, Nordics. How many species are you aware of?
I certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal bipedal type life to, what I would consider like sentient plasmoid life. But there are several that the U.S. government is aware of.
A question for you, Mr. Grusch.
Okay.
During the course of your investigation, it's been surfaced to the public that there's been a program by the name of Immaculate Constellation. During the course of your investigation, did you recognize that the infrastructure to support such a program for exfiltration of data from federal systems would exist?
Yeah, I can't comment on the content of that program. I've discussed on my interview in Judicial Watch that was a National Security Council program. And the secrecy started in 1954 through an Eisenhower executive order that created that infrastructure.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Do you have a sense of how many cases the government might be aware of that involve non-human biologics?
Quite a few, several dozen. So that's an ongoing list. So I can't give you an exact number because I didn't even have full access to that
Do you have
information.
a general rough estimate between
Several dozen.
But I really think this was a good movement forward for the UFO topic. I really hope something comes from it. This was supposed to, prompt Trump to go ahead and show us something noteworthy. The files they've released are great and all, but we need more solid proof because the people out there who don't believe in alien life or extraterrestrials, they still are just like laughing at it. I mean,
those videos don't do anything to sway their vote.
No.
It just confuses them more and gives them more ridicule to throw at us and others.
Yeah.
It doesn't prove anything.
No. And some people are so stuck on the idea that we're alone. This is it. Very, not to insult anybody, kind of narrow-minded thinking.
Right.
I just can't imagine living in a world where I couldn't imagine the possibilities of other things. That would be, for me, a very boring existence. But
the way I have started thinking about it is, look how many species are on our one tiny little planet. And it is a tiny, tiny, insignificant speck of a thing in the universe. The universe never ends. So how could there possibly not be anything else but us and frogs and spiders and deer?
Right.
Come on.
And like we've said before, we haven't even explored all of this world. The whole and almost the entire ocean has been unexplored. I think about 20% of the ocean has been mapped and explored.
Not very much.
There could be a whole city. There's theories of underground, under the earth, like inside the earth. The Native Americans, they have the stories of the ant people that came up out of the ground and saved them during a global cataclysm, which would probably the Younger Dryas. But there's so many possibilities, and I don't even think we can wrap our heads around just exactly how big the universe is. Just even our solar system, our galaxy, and
it's crazy.
It is. So we'll see what happens on that.
So again, Grusch discussed alleged crash retrieval programs, reverse engineering efforts, and the possibility that the government knows more about non-human intelligence than it had admitted publicly.
Perhaps the biggest difference this time was the emphasis on congressional oversight. The focus wasn't only on UFOs. It was about accountability, who controls the programs, who pays for them, and does Congress actually know what's happening?
I'll tell you who pays for it. It's us. We pay for it. And
we pay for it,
never get anything for our money, apparently. So
no.
Anyway, the lawmakers standing with Grusch argued that more whistleblowers need legal protections and that classified records should be reviewed for possible public release.
Yep, do it. Release it. Dadgummit.
Yeah, people are coming forward, but they're also terrified of the repercussions and the clapback, if you will, on what happens to them if they open their mouths. And that's a very real worry.
It is. And, I heard recently that there was a rumor that Trump was going to sign an executive order making it to where scientists or anybody who's participated in these reverse engineering programs would be relieved of their NDAs, which is a non-disclosure agreement for anybody who doesn't know. But like in 2022, James Fox did the movie The Program, and Eric Davis was on there and said that if the president would sign an executive order releasing him from his NDA, he would say everything.
Yep.
I think that would be monumental for this. I really hope that he does that. But
for real,
because I know that all these scientists, Eric Davis has claimed a lot of things. He's claimed different species of extraterrestrials. There was a hearing, but it was like a citizen's hearing. He said there were all these different species and named them, some of them like reptilians and tall whites, Nordics.
Mantis people.
Yeah. Now the mantis people thing kind of freaks me out.
Right, that's creepy.
We were talking about if we found out just exactly what was going on, even for the most seasoned ufologist or someone that's been studying this for forever, it could possibly shock us, which I know it would take a lot, but things could be totally different from what they seem.
Yeah. It would blow our minds.
Yeah, and it could be both extraterrestrial and spiritual. There's possibility for all of it to exist. Is there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
One of the most interesting moments came when Grusch reportedly encouraged people to read a specific declassified Australian government document.
There is a declassified 1971 Australian formally classified secret assessment that a couple years ago was put in the Australian National Archives. I encourage people to read page 7 through 16, and that was the nuclear branch chief of the Australian government discussing the U.S. cover-up and the involvement of the CIA back in the 70s. And that's actually a little-known document that is publicly available.
According to many in the UFO community, the key section is between pages 7 and 16. This document dates back to the early 1970s and discusses international government interest in the UFO phenomena.
Supporters argue that the report suggests several governments believed that UFO issue deserved serious scientific and intelligence attention.
Some readers interpret it as evidence that public debunking efforts, including projects like Blue Book, may have been designed partly to reduce public concern.
Skeptics, however, point out that the historical intelligence assessment often explore many possibilities without confirming that those possibilities are true.
A government study examining UFO reports is not necessarily proof that extraterrestrial craft exist.
Still, the fact that Grusch highlighted this document has sent thousands of people searching through archival records. For researchers, that may be one of the most valuable outcomes of this event. Like, I would have never known about this document had he not pointed us in that direction. I know the document itself pretty much is the story we've all been saying is true all these years. Talking about Project Grudge, Project, I can't remember the other one now. Let's see. I'm going to read a little bit of this document and we'll see what we think. The early analysis of UFO reports by USAF intelligence indicated that the real phenomenon were being reported, which had flight characteristics so far in advance of the U.S. aircraft that only an extraterrestrial origin could be envisaged. A government agency, which later events indicated to the CIA Office of Scientific Intelligence, OSI, studied the UFO reports with the intention of determining the UFO propulsion methods. At that time, OSI was responsible for intelligence on foreign research and development in nuclear and missile matters. So this this document, it's really hard to read. I've got it on my computer, but it's tiny. It says there were mass sightings in 1952, which started the whole thing, started Project Blue Book. And the crash retrieval program was, they were looking for anti-gravity power. So there, on the summer of 1952, saw a more than 20-fold rise in the normal rates of reporting and included 2 extensive July sightings involving Washington, D.C. This marked an increase in sightings that had a diverse effect. A component of USAF intelligence considered that UFOs were interplanetary spaceships which were about to make closer contact. Really, you just need to read these documents. If I read the whole thing, you guys would be probably bored.
Snoozing. Yeah.
But basically, it's saying that there's something here. Australia needs to check it out, separate from Five Eyes, which is, I believe, United States, Canada, France, the UK, and Australia. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong.
Feel free to correct.
Yes. Yeah. But, there's a bigger picture here, and they need to investigate it on their own to make sure, in case they want to figure out how to reverse engineer anti-gravity. But, it basically is what they've been telling us for years and what we have all theorized for years. There is the whole story with the Russian thing with Roswell. I think it was Tom DeLonge who says, oh, he doesn't believe they were extraterrestrial. He believes they were some kind of mutant humans, small children or something that crashed a Russian experimental ship. But
we should all believe Tom DeLonge.
No offense to Tom DeLonge.
Him and Travis Barker. Let's all follow what they say.
Well, a lot of people believe that. I think it was an actual extraterrestrial craft that crashed there. They got the 3 beings from the plains of San Augustine. And that's where it really started everything. Now, if you guys remember Paul Hellyer, which is the Canadian with the Canadian Defense Ministry, I believe, he said that we're in contact with, I think, 5 different species on a galactic federation. Most of us in the UFO topic have heard about the Galactic Federation.
Right.
Could this all be true? What David Grusch said about there being several species that we're all in communication with. It could legitimately be what it is. What do you think about it?
I think it's very interesting to hear statements from another country that don't have the censorship that the United States has over its citizens. This is Australia, who has nothing to do with our government. And
I believe they're very censored there, though.
I'm sure, but it's not the United States.
No.
They can sit over there and say, see, look what's going on. These people are trying to ridicule you into embarrassment, so you don't talk about the UFOs. This stuff's actually happening, and they're trying to blame it on Russia. I think it's interesting to hear another country's take on all the stuff that happened in the 40s and 50s.
Oh, that reminds me of a dream I had. I think it was last night. I had a dream that I was inside a TR-3B triangle craft. And why I had this dream, I have no idea. But it was actually flown by the government. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. We should fly on these instead of passenger planes. We could get there twice as fast, and you don't really feel like there's no pressure and all that.
Working on that.
But I think my dream intermingled with S4 and Bob Lazar, because it was kind of like the sport model inside. Everything was all one piece, kind of molded. Together, yeah.
No seams or rivets.
So that was
so keep an eye out for those.
Yeah.
Yep, you never know.
But, that made me think of, okay, we're all seeing these orbs and those triangles. There's a video of that where you can see the triangle flying if the video is real. And then all of a sudden there's a big ball of light in the center underneath, and it shines bright. And then all of a sudden all you see is a light, like an orb. You don't see the triangle anymore. Is that what we're all seeing in the sky? We see them all the time.
We do. We saw 6 or 7 of them a couple mornings ago at about 5 o'clock.
And we do have a satellite tracker on our phone. We have ISS tracker. We have Starlink tracker. And we always check, because we don't want to be, a couple of idiots out there.
Made to look ridiculous.
Looking and going, look at the UFO or orb.
None of those. We make absolute sure that it's none of those. Before we even consider believing it. So
one of them we saw the other day was blue, which was crazy. They'll show up. Sometimes they will flash and get really bright, and then they'll just kind of disappear.
Yep.
So, if you go out there and look, and you have to either get up really early or stay up pretty late, especially in the summertime, because it stays light so late.
And you have to put some time in. You can't go out there for 6 seconds and say, oh, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, and if you have a dark site near where you live, that's a great place to go out sky watching. We happen to have one it's up in Black Mesa, Oklahoma. We're in Oklahoma.
Corner of Colorado, New Mexico, and Oklahoma.
Yes.
Right in the very tip.
It is one of the darkest dark sites on the dark site map. So look that up and check it out. You may have one near where you live.
Yep.
But you can see the first time we saw that, the actual how the night sky looked, I was like speechless. It almost moved me to tears because I was like, look at what we're missing from all this light pollution.
Yeah, this is what it would have looked like in the 1800s and before. Just so many stars you can't believe.
You can see the Milky Way with the naked eye. I was like, what?
Not very well anymore, but you can still see it.
Yeah, but it's
visible.
Definitely worth a road trip if you have one sort of close and go to it. But
you got the ones in Texas. What's that one called? Big Bend. Yep.
Yeah,
and
of course.
The Mojave Desert out in California.
Yeah, Death Valley. There's lots of places that are. Oh, I think the Gila, was it Gila National Forest in New Mexico? Is the Cosmic Campgrounds. It's a dark site too, which is pretty close to the plains of San Augustine, which if you guys have watched the first 3 episodes, you kind of know I'm obsessed with. That is my case that I just find absolutely interesting. I want to go there so bad, but
if you're in mostly in the western half of America, that's where the greater number of dark sites are. I don't know if there's any on the eastern half, maybe a couple, but things are more spread out in the west side.
In the southwest. Yeah. I feel very lucky to live so close to all of the, desert southwest. It's my favorite place to go, but I want to see an actual flying saucer or, something like that with my own eyes, other than just an orb. I go out there all the time and just something show up. Right. Now I know a lot of people do the CE5 and they will catch light beings on camera. We've actually tried CE5 and I have the app on my phone, gone out there and played the little sounds, and hoping our neighbors aren't hearing us, wondering what the hell are they doing.
Mind your business.
But is it tied to the orbs we started seeing? I don't know, because they really kind of showed up after we did that. It's
been 4 years now we've seen them.
Yeah. And
they don't ever not come around.
No, they're incredible, but definitely check out the Australian documents that Grusch said to read. It just confirms everything that we thought all along, and it's definitely worth the read. The bigger picture, let's see, whether you believe David Grusch or remain skeptical, it's hard to ignore how much the conversation has changed.
A few years ago, discussions about UFO crash retrieval programs existed mostly on the fringes. Today, members of Congress openly stand beside whistleblowers and demand answers.
I demand answers, dadgummit. Government agencies have acknowledged that unidentified objects are being observed, which is huge.
Military pilots have spoken publicly. Declassified documents continue to emerge. Hopefully there's more coming out soon. Yet the central question remains unanswered.
Is there truly a hidden program studying recovered non-human technology? Or are these stories the result of decades of rumors, compartmentalized military projects, and misinformation? At this moment, the public has allegations. What many people want is hard evidence.
We do. We want it now. We're sick of this.
I hate to break it to the government, but all these videos they've released recently on the war.gov website, those are great, but the hardcore skeptics, they debunk everything as camera refraction or whatever they're called. But people want to see actual extraterrestrial.
We want to see the alien autopsy pictures. We want to see the dead alien bodies that were found in Roswell. Those are what we want.
Yeah.
Clear pictures, not a fuzzy infrared image from 3,000 miles away.
And they have to have better camera footage than that. Maybe that's just so high classified that they won't ever show us. But
whatever. We can see the pillars of creation in space, which is 30 million light years away. But we can't get a flying saucer 50 feet from our jet. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
they think we're idiots,
Mhm.
and but what do?
Nothing.
We just keep pushing and pushing Congress, calling your representatives, join up with some kind of organization that promotes disclosure.
Mhm.
I know here in Oklahoma, we have the International UFO Bureau. It's
Mhm.
run by Mindy Toutfest.
Mhm.
Gregory Rogers, who is a NASA surgeon,
Mhm.
he's also involved in that, and I would really like to
Very
try
cool
and
guy, yeah.
interview them in the future. But just get involved, and
ask questions.
only us as we the people can push disclosure further. David Grusch has done a lot for the disclosure, but it's really up to the president if he's going to give these scientists immunity and cancel their NDAs and let us know what's going on. Because right now, granted, the question and the answers have moved forward by leaps and bounds from what we used to be, but it's still not definitive proof. And the people out there that think this is silly, they need that proof.
They do.
It's just all pretty weird how all this is happening close to the 2027 date. I'm sure so many of you have heard about, like, ex-CIA agent John Ramirez. He talked about some kind of big thing happening in 2027 that, the government had to let us know before the extraterrestrials come here and let us know, like catastrophic disclosure. Let us know.
Clock's ticking.
Make it catastrophic.
Right.
I don't care.
At this point, who cares? Let's
just
get it over
rip
with.
the Band-Aid off. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. That is over. We have moved so far forward that we need to just move on to the next step.
Let's do it. It's time.
Do it.
Yep.
Dadgummit.
Dadgummit.
All right. As investigators and enthusiasts, it's most important to stay curious while also remaining critical.
Yep. Claims should be examined. Documents should be read. Evidence should be questioned. And assumptions should always be challenged.
David Grusch's appearance outside the Capitol may have not provided the smoking gun that we were hoping for, but it has certainly reignited the debate over transparency, secrecy, and what the governments around the world may know about the UFO phenomenon.
Perhaps the truth is still classified. Perhaps it's hidden in plain sight. Or perhaps we're witnessing the beginning of a much larger disclosure process.
Only time will tell.
That's right.
So, are we dealing with extraterrestrials that came here 80 years ago, and since then, plasmoids and all of this other species have come along? What has it always been here, and we just now are figuring it out, or they're just now releasing enough to let us know? Share your thoughts in the comments and what your theory is. I love hearing what each person's theories are, because there's a lot of them. There's some really crazy ones out there, but also very intriguing theories out there.
Yep.
So yeah, we would love to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think do you guys think we got something out of the press conference the other day? I thought it was helpful, definitely helpful to push the topic forward. But still not concrete evidence.
I think for the first time, we've actually heard somebody use the words aliens, extraterrestrial, plasmoid being, what was the other one? Sentient
plasmoids,
bipedal,
corporeal,
something.
It's a word I never
used.
used.
Aliens, basically, without saying it. This is the first time we've actually heard somebody say, yeah, they are not from here. These are aliens, extraterrestrial, something from another place.
And another thing that I've been hearing a lot of is contacting them with consciousness. Can we just go out there and mentally call up to the heavens, like, show yourselves? Possibly, like I said, it could happen.
Maybe.
Is everybody seeing the orbs or the lights in the sky? Is it just us weirdos that go out and love staring at and sky watching?
You have to go look for them. They're not going to knock on your door and say, we're out here.
Yeah, but
you have to go looking.
Consciousness definitely could play a big role in all of this. There's always been the theory that the extraterrestrials communicate telepathically. Well, we all have that gift. We can all communicate telepathically. We just don't remember how.
Right.
It's possible. Scientist Gary Nolan, he has done a lot of research into that, something about the basal ganglia, and some people have something in their brain. I can't think of the scientific word right now, but is enhanced, and they tend to have the phenomena happen more to them. But it's all very interesting. So if you enjoyed tonight's episode, please be sure to subscribe to UFO Phenomenon Podcast. We're growing, and any help right now
it's
is
a slow
great.
Process.
Leave us a review, share the show to a friend. Let us know what you think. Did David Grusch's story move us forward? Do you believe the declassified documents reveal something significant?
Are we still waiting for real evidence? Until next time, keep watching the skies, because the next mystery may already be overhead.
It sure might. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, y'all.